Dear student, we are going to discuss the anal canal and its various disease. So, first of all, anal canal is the lowermost part of the GI tract. It is the lowermost of the part of GI tract. In human beings, the anal canal lengthened from 4 to 4.5 centimeter. It is starting from puborectalis muscle. This is starting from puborectalis muscle to anal vas. It is length up to 4 to 4.5 centimeter. So anal canal composing of a dentate line, which is very important for surgical purpose. Dentate line is the line which is connecting the squamous cell epithelium and columnar epithelium and squamous cell epithelium. The dentate line is the significance is above this line it is lined by columnar epithelium, and below this line it is lined by the squamous epithelium, and above its somatic nervous system, autonomic nervous system, and below the line it is somatic nervous system. So any surgical procedure if done below the dentate line, it is a painful condition and it needs the anesthesia or anesthesia or local anesthesia, whatever. But above the dentate line, there is no need of any anesthesia. It is a painless procedure. So it is dentate line. Another important is its blood supply. Now there is a two sphincter. One is internal sphincter and another is the external. This two sphincter is responsible to prevent the incontinence, and it helps in defecation. During defecation, it relaxes and gradually dilation of the anal canal and defecation proceeds. But if there is any abnormality this sphincter or any injury this sphincter, patient or person may go into incontinence. Another important part of the is blood supply. Rectum is supplied by above 1/3 it is supplied by the superior rectal artery. The above 1/3 is supplied by the superior rectal artery, and the below 2/3 it is supplied by the middle rectal and inferior rectal artery. So it is the blood supply of the rectum. Another is its lymphatic system. It is very important for surgical purpose that the lymphatic system, if the rectum and anal is divided by three parts, the upper part of the anal canal, which is drained in the pararectal group of lymph nodes, and the left or right internal iliac or common iliac group of lymph nodes, and the below 2/3 of the anal canal, which is supplied to superior inguinal lymph nodes. So this is the lymph node status. It is very important for malignancies or other surgical procedure, for investigation purpose of anal malignancy or treatment purpose also. So our discuss is now going to now we are going to discuss the hemorrhoid. What is hemorrhoid? Hemorrhoid is a dilated tortuous vascular system of the anal canal. It is showing the picture. This is a hemorrhoid. It is a thrombosed external hemorrhoids. This is the thrombosed external hemorrhoids. It looks like that, and this is the internal hemorrhoids. Looks like that. So what the difference between external hemorrhoids and the internal hemorrhoids? External hemorrhoids, which is lies below the anal sphincter and it is covered by the skin, whereas the internal sphincter, it is lined by the mucous membrane and it is above the anal sphincter. So this is the two differentiating point. The internal hemorrhoid, which is lying above the internal hemorrhoid, and external hemorrhoid lies below the external anal opening. So hemorrhoid is nothing but a vascular sinuses which lies behind the or beneath the submucosal layer. It is nothing but the hematoma. It is a vascular malformation, whereas the venous system or arteriovenous system, it is dilated tortuous beneath the submucosal layer. There is a cushion system at the anal canal which is helping our defecation. So, if there is any losing of the cushion system, the vessel become dilated and tortuous and become the hemorrhoidal. So, hemorrhoid is nothing but the dilated tortuous venous system at the anal canal lies beneath the submucosal layer. This is the picture. What is internal hemorrhoid and there is external hemorrhoid. Internal hemorrhoid also subdivided into three systems. Three parts. Internal hemorrhoid. Number one, first degree hemorrhoid, second degree hemorrhoid, third degree hemorrhoid. So there are three hemorrhoids: first degree hemorrhoid, second degree hemorrhoid, and the third degree hemorrhoid. It is basically the sub-classification of the internal hemorrhoid. What is first degree hemorrhoid? The first degree hemorrhoid, the hemorrhoid lies within the anal canal, never protrude beneath the external sphincter or internal sphincter or behind the anal parts. So there is no need of any reposition. What is second degree hemorrhoid? The hemorrhoid which protrude through the anal parts, it looking during defecation and patient may feel it during defecation and it needs reacquisition. And what is third degree defecation? Third degree hemorrhoid? That hemorrhoids which always protruded beneath the externally. The hemorrhoid that is always looking outside the anal canal and there is no any help by the reacquisition. So these are the first degree hemorrhoid, second degree hemorrhoid and the third degree hemorrhoid. The hemorrhoid which is internal hemorrhoid, it is a first degree hemorrhoid. So, what is the clinical features? Clinical features of the hemorrhoid. Clinical feature is the hemorrhoid is patient may present with severe hemorrhage. It is painless hemorrhage. The hemorrhage during defecation, flushing of the blood. But patient during defecation there is a profuse bleeding during defecation and just after defecation and there is flushing of the blood. Patient may present with severe pallor and sometimes needs urgent blood transfusion with admission. So clinical presentation only hemorrhage which is painless. Until unless there is any thrombosis or thrombospite, there is no pain. Only painless hemorrhage is the clinical representation of the hemorrhoid. So what are the investigation? Digital electrostation does not give any help to diagnosis the hemorrhoid. So proctoscopy or sigmoidoscopy is necessary to diagnose the hemorrhoid, which is looks like branching structure in the rectum. This is the hemorrhoid which looks a branch like structure of the hemorrhoid. There are three primary hemorrhoidal sites: 3 o'clock position, 7 o'clock position and 11 o'clock position. So these are the primary three sides of the hemorrhoid. Number one is 3 o'clock position, 7 o'clock position and 11 o'clock position. So there are other hemorrhoid may arise from the another sides of the anorectal junction, but most three important hemorrhoid is 3 o'clock position, 7 o'clock position and 11 o'clock position. So investigation of choice is first proctoscopy. So the exact site should be identified at 3 o'clock position, 7 o'clock position, 11. There is any protrusion or any bluish discoloration of the hemorrhoidal is there or not. So these are the most common investigation. Digital examination does not give any help for investigation of the hemorrhoid. Colonoscopy may done or sigmoidoscopy may done along with the proctoscopy. So these are the investigation. So what are the treatment? Number one, conservative treatment. Conservative treatment, it includes lifestyle modification, stool softener, and avoid constipation. So it is the conservative management. Another is so another treatment is sclerotherapy. What is sclerotherapy? Admon oil, 5% admon oil, ascarol, hot water, hot sterile water, hot normal saline. It can be given at the hemorrhoidal site. Direct injection at the apex of the hemorrhoid, not within the hemorrhoidal tissue. The apex of the hemorrhoid, the injection of the estrogen agent done, and it helps to shrink of the hemorrhoid and thrombose the hemorrhoid within the anal canal and sloughed out after 7 to 8 days or 10 days. So sclerotherapy is another treatment. Third option is band ligation. Band ligation. What is band ligation? This is the instrument, the Barron's band ligator. Barron's band ligator. This is the two part. It is the holding part of the hemorrhoid and tie up band ligator at the side and just hold it and the band is ligated at the apex of the hemorrhoid. The band is ligated at the apex of the hemorrhoid, which gives the avascular necrosis of the thrombus part, and it is avulsed after 7 to 10 days. And it is one of the curative treatment for second degree hemorrhoid. And another is surgery. Fourth option is surgery. So what the indication? Usually first degree hemorrhoid we are giving the conservative management with lifestyle modification, stool softener, and band avoid constipation. Second degree band ligation and sclerotherapy. Third degree almost always surgery is the treatment of choice. So this is the hemorrhoid. So what are the complication? Hemorrhoid, there is chance of recurrence. There is a chance of the thrombosis of the surgical site, and there is chance of anal stenosis, which is very painful during defecation. So the next topic is anal fissure. Previously I discussed the anal piles or hemorrhoid. This is the anal fissure. The picture shows first. Anal fissure is nothing a acute or a chronic ulcer at the ectoderm or anal mucosa, and there is a protrusion of the skin tag. It is called sentinel tag. So anal fissure is nothing but the longitudinal ulcer at the anal mucosa, and there is a part of skin which is hanging or protruding behind the anal canal. It is a fissure. It is a ulcer. It is acute or it may be chronic, or acute and chronic it may occur. So what is the cause of the acute fissure? Acute fissure, the cause is hard stool and constipation. Hard stool and constipation is the most common cause. Sometimes hereditary cause is one of the most important factor for occurring of the anal fissure. So anal fissure is a very painful condition. because due to ulcer and infection, it is a very painful condition and very painful defecation also. The pain may persist after 3 to 4 hours after defecation. Patient may present it with uh, bleeding per rectum, which is drop by drop and painful. So painful bleeding is the characteristics of the anal fissure, whereas painless bleeding is the characteristics of the hemorrhoid. So this is a ulcer. So ulcer is almost an infective condition and it is painful. Initially, the anal fissure, if it is acute, after conservative management, it may completely heal and may recur after few months or few years. But chronic ulcer never heal. It needs a surgical intervention or any other therapy. So what the complication? Complication is nothing but the painful defecation and pain after defecation for 3 to 4 hours is the after defecation is the most common pain clinical feature is also complication also and bleeding per rectum. But this kind of bleeding cannot give so much bleeding that patient needs does not needs any blood transfusion for that. So anal fissure, what is the diagnostic tools? There is no diagnostic tools except inspection. Only just inspect the anal canal very carefully. The ulcer may be seen and the sentinel tags are also seen. This is the perianal fissure. There is complete contraindication for digital rectal examination or anoscope or proctoscope. So, in a patient with anal fissure, the digital rectal examination and the proctoscopy is completely contraindicated for this patient because it is a very painful condition and patient may turn his leg towards the doctor. So this is anal fissure clinical representation and investigation. So what the treatment? It is a first we can try for conservative management. Again conservative management in the form of stool softener, lifestyle modification, avoid spicy and fatty food and regular interval defecation. It is helpful. Seize bath. Seize bath is one of the most important factor. Seize bath. What is seize bath? Take a bowl, take a hot lukewarm water and advise patient to sit within the water. Take a big bowl, take lukewarm water and ask the patient to sit within the water for 10 minutes at least 3 times per day. It is very helpful for treatment of the anal fissure and gives the complete cure also. Sometimes patient may ask, can I give any betadine or Savlon or anything more? It is patient choice. It should not be the doctor's choice because cannot have any more of betadine and Savlon. Sometimes patient asks to take steam of this hot water. No, there is no role of steaming for anal fissure treatment because the hot water helps to prevent the active infection, cure the active infection and decrease the inflammation and decrease the pain also. So hot water or seize bath is very helpful for anal fissure. Some medication like diltiazem, calcium channel blocker, 4% or 5% Lignocaine also helpful for anal fissure. What is the surgical treatment? Surgical treatment is necessary for recurrent anal fissure or chronic anal fissure. So surgical treatment is necessary in the 2%, either recurrent anal fissure, recurrent and acute anal fissure or chronic anal fissure. What the surgical treatment? Surgical treatment the anal fissure looks like that. Surgical treatment is the lateral internal sphincterotomy. Lateral internal sphincterotomy, not external sphincterotomy. Lateral internal sphincterotomy. This is the anal canal. Lateral means in this position either 3 o'clock position or 9 o'clock position, never in the 6 o'clock position, 12 o'clock position, because very near there is prostate and in female there is vaginal orifice. So the surgery should be done at 3 o'clock position or 3 o'clock position or 9 o'clock position, and sometimes may done at the 6 o'clock position, but never at the 12 o'clock position. Lateral internal sphincterotomy or lateral anal sphincterotomy is the treatment of choice. Fissurectomy or fissurotomy both can be done. Sometimes the sphincter is completely excised at the level of surgical site. It may be open surgery or it may be closed surgery. Sometimes the mucus over the incision may open, or sometimes may incision of the may closed. Sometimes another is, it is a outdoor basis treatment. It may be done under local anesthesia or it may be done under spinal anesthesia. Whatever it can done, it is a purely surgeon's choice. But daycare basis surgery is now most preferred nowadays. Now the anal fistula. What is fistula? Fistula is the abnormal communication between two mucous membranes. So it is a abnormal communicating tract between the rectum or anal canal to the sternal skin. So anal fistula is a abnormal communication between the anal canal and the skin. It may be two types. According to situation of the position of the internal opening, it may be either higher fistula or lower fistula. The fistula above the anorectal ring, the fistula which is situated the internal opening lies above the anorectal ring, it is higher fistula. The fistula internal opening lies below the anorectal ring, it is low fistula. It is not determined the dentate line, of course. It is remind that dentate line is not the factor for determining the higher fistula or low fistula, because dentate line lies in this area. So higher or lower fistula determine the anorectal ring by levator ani muscle. It is above the anorectal ring, it is higher fistula, and below the anorectal ring, it is the low fistula. There is another. So what are the pathology to formation of the anal fistula? What is the pathology behind it? There are multiple anal glands around the anal gland, up to 10 to 12 anal glands situated around the anal canal. Due to any cause, the gland may sometimes be infected and formation of the abscess formation. Whenever it may abscess formation and there is no early incision rate was done, so the abscess may rupture and it communicates outside like this and it communicates inside like this, and finally a tract is formed. This is called anal fistula. So after a few days, the abscess is healed and a scar tissue or a fistula tract remains after treatment. So it needs a purely surgical treatment. There is no need of any medical treatment, because medical treatment does not give any help to treat or cure the anal fistula. So what is the clinical presentation? This is the fistula picture showing. This is a picture showing fistula. There is a external opening. This is the external. This is the picture of the multiple fistula. So later I am coming to the what are the types of the fistula. So it is the multiple fistula. Previous it is on the single fistula towards the right hand side. So what are the clinical representation? Patient usually presented with a mucus discharge or a prurient discharge or foul smelling discharge continuously through this external opening. And sometimes patient complains of wetting of the wetting his or her garments, and it is a foul smelling discharge from the external opening, because nothing but it is a loose stool. Sometimes it is from the loose stool from the anorectum, and sometimes the fistula tract become infected and formation of the abscess formation. Patient is into severe sepsis, perianal abscess, and may sometimes rupture again, and again multiple fistula may form. So this is the representation. Usually during heal period, during the normal period, like this time of patient present with a purulent, fecal or watery discharge from the external fistula, which is continuous time and wetting his and her garments, and it is very foul smelling. And sometimes this fistula tract become infected and abscess formation. This abscess formation may sometimes give to rupture, sepsis, perianal sepsis, and shock-like structure sometimes. So these are the perianal fistula. So what are the types of the fistula? Previously I have said the clinical fistula type. Number one, the fistula arising above the anorectal ring. This is the above the anorectal ring. This is the higher fistula. Below the anorectal ring, it is the low fistula. So the fistula anatomically it is divided into 4 types. This is the anatomically it is divided the 4 types. Number one, this is superficial fistula, simple fistula. It is not in under this anatomical side. There are 4 types. Number one, one is intrasphincteric side. Intrasphincteric fistula. Intrasphincteric fistula, the fistula lies between the internal opening and external opening. In between this sphincter, the fistula is going on and communicating with the anal canal. This is the intrasphincteric fistula. This is the most common type. Intrasphincteric fistula is the most common type. Another is transsphincteric fistula. Transsphincteric fistula, the fistula tract crosses the 2 sphincter alone, external sphincter, internal sphincter, and communicate with the anal canal. This is the transsphincteric fistula. These two are the low fistula basically. Internal sphincter, intrasphincteric fistula or transsphincteric fistula is the low fistula, and another 2 varieties is the suprasphincteric fistula. Suprasphincteric fistula, the fistula tract first goes above the sphincter and communicate with the anal canal. And another variety, extra sphincter, the fistula crosses the puerectalis muscle and goes above the anal canal. These are the 4 types of fistula: intrasphincteric fistula, transsphincteric fistula, suprasphincteric fistula, and another variety is the extrasphincteric fistula. So these are the fistula, 4 types of fistula representation. And what is the investigation? Oh, what is Gart's rule? Gart's rule is a very important part. Gart's rule: if this anal canal is bisected, a imaginary line. If anal canal patient is first lithotomy position and anal canal is bisected by a transverse line first, and if the external opening lies above this imaginary line, usually that fistula tract are wasted and directly communicated to the anal canal. But the fistula, but the external sphincters, the anal fistula opening by external opening lies below the transverse line. It became curved and enters into the anal canal at the 6 o'clock position. Very important for Gart's rule for the surgical purpose. What is Gart's rules? Gart's fistula's theory. It states that patient first lithotomy position and the anal canal is bisected a transverse imaginary line. If the external opening above this line, so the external opening is above this line, the fistula should be short and directly communicated to the anal canal directly. Whereas if the external opening lies below the transverse line, it is curved, usually curved, and all are entered at the 6 o'clock position, not direct this variety, not direct this variety. They carved and 6 o'clock position. It is a very important. But there is an exception. What is the exception? This is the exception. If the tract, if the external opening is more than 3 centimeter away from the anal verge, the opening is 3 centimeter away from the anal verge, it's situated anywhere. It may be above the urinary line or below the urinary line. It became curved and communicated with the 6 o'clock position of the anal canal. So this is the Garcel's rule. Garcel's rules. ঠিক আছে? হয়ে গেল? So
করলাম চলো
next investigation. What is the investigation on anal fistula? First, clinical examination. Clinical examination in the form of first inspection, where situated the external opening, and digital examination or proctoscopy to identify the internal opening. On the basis of the external opening and internal opening, may assess it is the low fistula or higher fistula. If the fistula is very high during examination of the digital examination or proctoscopy, usually it should be treated separately, and if it is identified or it is diagnosed as a low fistula, so it is treated separately. So fistula, either higher fistula or low fistula, is very important for treatment purpose. So conformity of the diagnosis should be done by fistulogram. Fistulogram is nothing by a radioactive dye is pushed through the tract and take an X-ray. Simply take an X-ray. It is still a very good investigation. It is done for few last 30 to 50 years and give a good information regarding the fistula tract. If the length of the tract is very short, I can assess that it is a low fistula. If the tract is curved but very long, so it can identify as a long fistula. Nowadays, the most important that the investigation choice is nothing but MR fistulogram. Nothing but the MR fistulogram. MR fistulogram is MRI of the anorectal region and the identified the length, communicating, branching, everything should be done by MR fistulogram. So investigation of choice is MR fistulogram. On the basis of MR fistulogram or clinical X-ray, it can be divided into the various categories. The fistula may be single or it may be multiple or it may be branched. Single fistula like this single fistula. This is a single fistula and this is the multiple fistula. Sometimes external opening may single. This is the another variety of the fistula. There is multiple branching of the fistula, or a fistula may sometimes originated single fistula. Externally, it looks multiple sides. So Crohn's disease, tuberculosis, ulcerative proctocolitis are the various conditions. Sometimes carcinoma may represent with the multiple fistula or the branching fistula. For branching fistula or multiple fistula, after hysterectomy, after surgery, biopsy is must. Biopsy should be done due to confirmation of the diagnosis, because the treatment for further treatment, it is tuberculosis or Crohn's disease or ulcerative or malignancy. So if treated not done, so recurrence is very high. This is the anal fistula. Next, what is the treatment of the anal fistula? There are four type of fistula surgery or fistula operation. Number one is fistulectomy. What is fistulectomy? Fistulectomy nothing but the whole tract is excised from the anal canal. The whole tract are excised from the anal canal is called fistulectomy. Another is fistulotomy. What is fistulotomy? Fistulotomy nothing but the tract is remain the same position, just is lay open the tract and the granulation tissue is treated by diathermy. So all the granulation tissue are removed by diathermy or excision, and the opening is incision is lay open. The tract is lay open. The tract is remains the same side, no complete excised, just lay open the fistula tract. It is called fistulotomy. Fistulectomy nothing but the complete tract is excised. Another treatment is theton. What is theton? Theton is nothing a silk or polyp or third sutra is applied along the fistula tract and it is tied outside and ask the patient to follow up after 7 to 10 days every 10 to 7 days clinics, and it is becoming tight, gradually tightening. Sometimes the granulation tissue healed by fibrosis, or sometimes it is cut through thereafter. So this is theatoning. Another modern treatment is video assisted VAP. VAP is nothing but the video assisted fistula treatment. VAP is nothing but a microscope is pushed through the fistula. A lens is pushed through the fistula. The tract is identified and the glue is applied, or the sometimes glue is applied through the tract and paste it to obliterate the tract. And sometimes the burning the granulation tissue and it is help to fibrosis of the tract. It is nowadays very important because very high up fistula or surgery is not possible, or surgery there is chance of recurrence, and in that case theton and that is very important. So what is the high up fistula? Treatment of the high up fistula. High up fistula. This is the high up fistula. For high up fistula, previously it is done by two-stage surgery. First temporary colostomy, and excision of the tract. After 3 to 4 months, colostomy reverse was done. So this is a two-stage operation. Number one is first transverse colostomy and the safe setting excision of the tract, and followed by after 2 to 3 months or 3 to 4 months the colostomy reverse. So there is chance of there is the chance of cure is very good. Now it is VAP or theatoning is also helpful for high up fistula. So these are the fistulae. This is the fistulectomy. This is the fistulectomy. This is the opening. Puro tract is removed through this opening, and remaining part is sometimes theatoning done, but it is a purely fistulectomy. This is fistulotomy. Here was the external opening and internal opening within the anal canal. The fistula tract is excised, fistula tract is lay opened along the incision, and the granulation tissue is diathermized or curate the tract, and it is healed by secondary intention or fibrosis. It is a very good surgery, and it is cure rate is very high rather than the fistulectomy. Another is Threatoning. This is threatoning. This is the threaton, the rubber band, or sometimes pudding or silk or kharsutra is applied along the fistula tract. This is the threaton. This is the threaton. Threaton is applied. This is the pudding is applied, and gradually tightening the threaton, and for 2 to 3 months, whole tract is removed along with it. So it is the modern treatment for still now the fistula. So what are the complications? Complication of the fistula operation, like various complications, like very most important complication is recurrence. All the surgeries, fistulotomy, threatening, or perhaps all, there are the drawback are recurrent of the fistula. So it is a very bad procedure, bad surgical technique which gives the recurrent very high. Another is perianal sepsis, perianal abscess formation are the very important part of the perianal fistula operation. So these are our class, and go through your book and discuss to me thereafter.